So today I decided to film a get ready with me makeup video while I talk to you all about me and give you guys more insight on who I am and kind of just explain some things to you all so that we can be on the same page. I feel like I started my YouTube channel back without formally introducing myself again, because I used to post content in the past and I feel like I'm so much different now than the content that I used to post in the past. So when you're different, it's good to do a reintroduction. Sorry if I look crazy. I'm literally just trying to pin my hair back out of my face. I hate when hair like touches my face or anything like that. And so yeah, so it's currently 2 o'clock, so I need to hurry up and get ready. But I'm getting ready because I have my first Swole Bolsa meeting. So for those that don't know, I'm currently a 2L and I'm very involved within the Black Law Student Association. So at first, like last term, I was the local Black Law Student Association fundraising chair at my school, and then I decided to be a part of the regional board for NABOLSA. I don't know if you all know what NABOLSA is, but it's the National Black Law Student Association, and I am on the regional board of the National Black Law Student Association. Kind of think of it like more of like a hierarchy type of thing, where you have your national level, your regional level, and then your local levels. And so the national, they kind of deal with the policies and the procedures, and they deal with it on a national level, right? And because there's so many different states, there's so many different schools, they have to have a regional division to help them further those missions and goals out to those more local geographic areas. And so that's where we come into play with the regional area. Obviously, my first year I did a lot of things for my local BOLSA, just trying to get a feel of what BOLSA is and like how I can make an impact within BOLSA to help other people. And now I've made the decision to take it a step further, and so I will be the director of pre-law affairs, or I keep saying I will be, I am the director of pre-law affairs for Swole Bolsa 10, the Southwest region of the National Black Law Student Association, and it's our 10th regional board in our region. So I'm very excited, and I keep saying I will be because our term just started April 1st and I'm filming this on April 6th. So I keep forgetting that, oh, I am on the regional board now. And we have our first meeting today, and that's what I'm getting ready for. It's a Zoom meeting, obviously, or like an online meeting. But I just want to make sure first impressions are everything. And so why not film this video, tell you all a little bit more about myself while also doing my makeup and maybe spilling a little bit of tea about law school. So let's get started, because I've been rambling for a minute, okay? So I always use this LA Girl Pro Perfect Oil Control. I just really like it. I like to spray it before I start my makeup. So I got it in my mouth. Okay. Sorry if you guys hear a lot of noise going on outside. I live downtown, so you can imagine it's a lot of noise. But yeah, so we have our first meeting today. I'm very excited. As the Swole Bolsa pre-law director, my role is basically to help all pre-law students within our region. If you're a student in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, or New Mexico, and you're interested in pre-law, your school either will have a NABOLSA pre-law chapter, or it doesn't have one, and coming soon, because one of my jobs and roles is to create more chapters within our region. But don't worry, because if your school does not have a NABOLSA pre-law chapter at your school, you can still join the pre-law division within our region. You will just join as an at-large member, which means you're not associated, you're not a member through your school's organization, you're just a member because you decided to sign up. So that's basically what it is. So either you'll have a NABOLSA pre-law chapter. We only have certain schools within our region that are chaptered at this moment. So most schools probably are not chaptered. And in that case, you will just have to sign up and join as a member on your own. And it's a $10 membership fee, but it's 100% worth it. And when you all see what we have in store for this year, you're going to realize how worth it is. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I decided to do it this year because one, the person that will be the chair this year, um, she really convinced me to do it. We go to the same school, but she convinced me to do it, and I wasn't considering it before she had a conversation with me and kind of told me more about the roles and like kind of what it is and the opportunities and just different things like that that are great about it. And I finally started to like give it a thought, and then I decided to go through with it and do it. So I'm really excited that I made that decision to do that. So y'all probably are wondering, why law school? Like what kind of led me to where I am right now? And honestly, I really feel like it was just one of those things where I put way too much blush on this side. Way too much. This is why I do this first. But I feel like it was one of those things where I always knew that this was what God wanted me to do in my life. And when I say that, I mean like I was saying that I was going to be an attorney for a long time, like when I was little, when I was young. I knew that this was something I wanted to do. And I didn't know exactly how it would play out, but I knew law school was always in the back of my mind. Being an attorney was always in the back of my mind. I went to Texas A&M University for undergrad, and there I was a management major, so I was in the Mays Business School. But through my management degree, the whole entire reason that I actually picked that degree was because the management degree had a pre-law track. So with degrees, you can have like a pre-law, for those that aren't in college already. With degrees, you can have, and I know I look crazy right now, guys. This is literally the first thing I'm applying on my face, so it's going to look way different by the end. I did put too much on, but it's okay. It's gonna get covered up. But anyways, for those that are not in undergrad or go to college, there are different pre-laws, or not pre-laws, there are different tracks or paths you can take within even your degree. So the management degree was like obviously my overall degree. I had a BBA, a Bachelor of Business Administration and Management. And the management path, you could do like the HR track, which means like you're trying to do HR, or you could do the entrepreneurial track. So there's different things that you can basically do with the management degree. Some people choose to do HR, some people choose to do entrepreneurship, some people choose to do some other ones. There were other options too, I just can't remember them. I chose to do the pre-law track, so there was also a pre-law track. And through that pre-law track, I obviously still took all my required business courses, but additionally, I was able to take some more law-related business courses, and I love those classes. Those were probably my favorite classes in undergrad. And so I did that because going into my freshman year of college, I knew that I wanted to go to law school. And I knew that I wanted to set myself up for success. And so one thing that I did was make sure that I did a pre-law path so I could at least get some legal classwork experience, or not experience, but like sit in a law classroom environment to see if I liked it. And that's exactly what I did, and I loved it. And so one of my favorite classes in particular that I remember so much was employment discrimination law. My professor for that class, he was just so great. I love that class, and that class really confirmed for me that I wanted to go to law school. And so yeah, I always had an interest in law school. My interest really sparked because I remember watching a documentary called 13th Amendment. And if you all know that, that's a very well-known documentary. If you probably know that documentary, it's basically about mass incarceration and Bryan Stevenson and the Equal Justice Initiatives and all of those things. It's all about basically how Black people are impacted in the justice system, particularly Black men. And so I just was so touched by that documentary, and I had already been very knowledgeable about my rights prior to watching that documentary, but that documentary even furthered my drive to help people that can't help themselves, help people that can't help themselves. Like they're literally in a position to where they cannot fight for themselves. They don't know anything about the law. They're just put in this position to where they can't really do anything about it. They need someone else to literally advocate for them. And so that's kind of when I knew, oh, I want to go to law school. But then once I actually got to law school, I realized I I thought for a second that I didn't want to do criminal law, and now I love criminal law. So it's kind of funny how it's like a 360, like, oh wow, I wanted to go to law school for criminal law, and now I'm back doing criminal law. But what I will say is, I don't really think that I want to do exactly what I wanted to do before. I thought I wanted to help like people on death penalty, and I realized I don't think my heart could take that. There are so many really tough people out there that they can thug it through, they can fight through it. But I was like, I just don't think that me personally, I could just continuously deal with a lot of the devastating things that come with being an attorney in that way. I just remember watching and hearing of like watching Just Mercy, like the movie, and then seeing Bryan Stevenson. I think Michael B. Jordan played his role, but seeing him have to watch one of his clients get executed because his client wanted him there, and he had to watch his client get executed because he couldn't, like the court wouldn't get him out, and it was just so sad. And I'm like, I don't think I could handle that. I really don't think that I could handle that. Like, I just feel like that would be too much for me. Like, where I am in life currently, I just can't deal with that level of responsibility. I feel like being an attorney is a lot of responsibility in itself. Especially when you do criminal law, because someone else's life is literally in your hands, and it's determinable on whether you can advocate more efficiently than the other side. That's literally what it is. Do you have a better argument than the other side does that will get your client out of the situation that they're in? And when it's civil, it could be just as serious civilly as well, because there are personal injury. People, can have really a lot of injuries, or there's a lot of like sensitive topics that could be criminal or civil as well. But I feel like with criminal law, it's like somebody's livelihood, like whether they're going to go to prison or jail or not, is in your hands. That's a lot of pressure. But I feel like when it comes to someone's actual life, it's even more pressure. And so I think about it like doctors. Like, I feel like doctors have one of the most pressure-wise jobs ever, because someone else's life is literally in your hands, depending on how extreme. Like, if you're a surgeon or something, like, their life is in your hands, and that's so much pressure. And so I felt like where I am currently, I do not want to deal with that type of pressure. I'm very good with pressure, actually. I work very well under pressure, but I don't know about that type of pressure. And so I just started to look into other things, but I just still thought it was crazy how it was like a full circle event of like, oh wow, I thought I didn't want to do criminal law anymore once I got into law school. And then my criminal law externship that I'm currently doing has been my favorite internship experience that I've ever done thus far. So that was just funny how God kind of showed me like, yeah, you're here for a reason. Like, you're not going to backtrack, because I guess this is an advice I can give you all, because it's so easy in this field to get caught up in money, especially when you're in tons of debt from law school, especially when you're in a situation to where everyone else around you is getting all these great opportunities. And a lot of people you will see, they join or start or come to law school to make money. And people always say like, this is not the field that you should come in if you're just trying to make a lot of money, because the ultimate goal is like, we are public servants. Like, the ultimate goal is to help other people. But there are people that come here for the money because they want to do big law. And that's really where you get most of the money in the legal field. And I started to kind of let myself like think that that's what I wanted to do. Like, I was trying to trick my brain into thinking that big law was what I wanted to do, because of the money. And I'm going to be very blunt. I lost track of what mattered for a little bit. And I'm so glad that I got back on track. But I just want to prevent this from happening to any of you all. I let so many other people get into my head in terms of what we should be doing, what career we should have in the legal field. You know, you're going to see a ton of people getting summer associates at big law firms and all of these things, and they're making so much money, and they just tell you about all the money that they're making. And then you see how much debt you're in, and you're like, oh, it seems like big law is the only option so I can get out of this debt. And then you just realize how it's not for you. And I'm not saying big law isn't, I'm not saying big law is horrible or it's bad. I know people that love it. I know people that absolutely love it, but I knew that it wasn't for me. I don't want to work 80-hour work weeks. I want to have a good legal career where I am good at my job, I'm good at what I do, and I'm helping other people. And obviously enough to where I can make a livelihood. But I don't want anything that's going to make me hate my life. I don't want anything that's going to make me be depressed or anything that God has not called me to do. I don't want. And I just feel like God has not called me into that space. God has called me to help people in a different capacity than big law. And so I immediately what's crazy is I was so confident that that's what I was going to do. And God literally put me in situations to show me that is not what you're going to do. And I mean, it was just the craziest situations. It was things that I could not control, like situations where, God, why did you allow this to happen? This was such a great opportunity and it's ruined. Why did you allow this to happen to me? This could have been a life-changing experience. And God literally said, it's not for you. And at the time I was really upset, but looking back, I understand exactly what was going on. I wanted to tell you all that because there is going to be some people or some things, or you're going to start feeling pressure, or you're going to see that loan debt and how much you owe, and you're going to start freaking out and thinking that you have to do something that you don't want to do because it's going to pay the bills. And I understand it more than anybody probably, of that realization and that reality. But I also understand the other side of that reality. And it's going to leave you feeling purposeless. It's going to leave you feeling like you're not here doing what God has called you to do. And that's never how I want to feel. I want to do what God has called me to do. I want to be full of purpose, and I want to help people in the capacity that He's called me to help people in. And I don't know exactly where that is. To this day, I can tell you guys, I'm learning more about what I love and what I don't love. And I still say, one of the best advice I can give you, one, be true to yourself. If you know you wanted to come to law school to be a criminal law attorney, don't change being a criminal law attorney just to make more money. Now, you may change your interest in what you wanted to do because you realize you hate what you thought you wanted to do, and that's completely different. But if you're just changing it for the sole sake of money, that is when you know that you are loving money more than what God is telling you to do, and the love of money is the root of all evil. And so that is kind of what I have been having or engraved in my brain. Do things that you feel you get purpose out of, you get joy out of. I get joy helping people and making their situations and making their lives easier. And I don't know exactly even now where God wants me to be after I graduate law school. I don't know if He wants me to do criminal. I don't know if He wants me to do civil. I don't know where God wants to place me. But I am going to sit and wait and be patient and let Him lead my life. And so I have just been so much more content. I think is the good word to use. I've been so much more content with where God has me in my life. And honestly, what really makes me even think or be more grateful for everything that I have in life is just the realization that I've come so far. And I wouldn't be anywhere that I am right now if it weren't for God. And I just think wow, Lord, where I am right now is my little girl dreams. The things that I've been doing in my life over the past year, almost 2 years now, was a dream of mine as a little child. And so just to see that I am fulfilling those things that God had already put in me when I was young. And so, yeah, I just say the best advice I can give you. I do recommend getting as much exposure as possible before you graduate law school. So whether that's you doing different internships, obviously, manage your time. Don't just overbook yourself and overwhelm yourself, because that won't be good. But get as much legal experience as you can before you get out of law school, because one thing that I've learned, I've gotten so much legal experience in so many different places already, and I have learned more about what I don't want to do than what I do want to do. And I think that's the best learning curve, or the learning experience. I think that's the best, because you're Xing out like stuff like, I know I don't want to do that. And it prevents you and it saves you, I feel like, so much stress about your work life after you graduate. Because now I know I'm absolutely not doing that, because I absolutely hated every second of that. And if I were to get a job post-graduation with that, I'd be miserable. So I feel like it's good to get different experiences. Even if you don't know if you want to do something or not, it's still good to get that experience, because at least you'll know at the end of that experience that you either want to do that, you either loved it or you either hated it, or you're going to be able to take something from that. And so that's the best advice I can tell people. I feel like I know so many people, like even people that obviously want to do big law, they do the summer associate positions. They're at the same firm for each summer. And I get why, because they want a post-grad offer. They want a post-grad offer, and they probably will get a post-grad offer if they get a second offer for their summer associate position. However, if that's not your path and you want to do other things, and you're like, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know what legal field I want, like where I fit in this legal space, the only way you're gonna find out is to get out there and try different things. Do different internships, do different externships, do clinics, do networking, like meet the attorneys in the fields that you think you're interested in, ask them how their day-to-day lives are, get that idea, do all of that stuff before you graduate. And I say do all of that stuff your second semester of your 1L year, when you're going to start really doing all your interviews and different things like that for your 1L summer. So yeah, that's kind of my best advice that I can give on those things. I just rambled so much, but that's basically like what led me to law school and kind of where I am now in my law school journey. I have gotten so much networking experience, and I'm about to get even more. I have been very involved. I've made myself known. Let's just say that. And I think that that's a good thing, but also make yourself known in the right way. So I have just put myself out there, and God has just been blessing me with different things that I never thought I would be able to experience or see. And so there are so many opportunities and so many things. And yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna hurry up and do my makeup, the rest of my makeup off camera. I think it looks pretty good right now. Really quickly, I do want to just go ahead and spray my hair. My best advice to you is to not let law school become your whole entire life, to the point where you don't have a life outside of it and all you see yourself as is a lawyer. And you're so much more than that. You're so much more than a lawyer. I have so many different gifts and talents that God has given me that are outside of law. I have so many things about me that are completely outside of law. I am a child of God. I am not identified as a lawyer. I am a child of God. And I just happen to be someone that's a child of God that loves law. And so I kind of look at it like that. I can't be the best law student, and I won't be the best attorney that I can be if I only identify myself as that. I have to find my purpose outside of that field, and then figure out a way to bring that purpose into that field. And so that is my best advice I can give you. And I have so much more advice that I want to give you all throughout this term, I'm gonna start doing like content as well for my SWBOSA. If you're in the Southwest region, so like Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, on social media. I am over the pre-law page, and then we have a main page for any law students. So whichever one you fit under, follow. I'll put it like right here or something so you guys can see and go ahead and follow it. But I'm gonna do my makeup off camera, and then I'll come and close us out real quick. Hey guys. So I'm done. I think it turned out so good. Like, this is probably the best my makeup has turned out in a pretty long time. But I got a lot of new makeup products like not too long ago. Like, I think this was what changed the game. I honestly think it was this. I wanted to try the pink powder. 10 out of 10 recommend. I absolutely love how my makeup looks, and I think it's gonna look really good on video. Especially, like, I think it looks so good in person. And if it looks good in person, you know it's gonna look good on the camera. So I will talk to you all in my next video. Comment down below any videos you want to see with me. What type of law school content do you want to see from me? As a matter of fact, what type of law school content do you all want to see from me on my SWBOSA page? Let me know, okay? And if you're interested in attending a law school within our region, joining the pre-law membership in our region would be a great start to network and meet people, both law students and attorneys that work in this region and law students that go to the school in your region. Okay, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.